Welcome again to Indian Time here, produced by Muskogee Media. I'm Gary Fife.
Jessica McBride.
It's casual day, Friday, as you can tell by our wonderful uniforms here today. It's been kind of an interesting week for us here. I know on Muskogee Radio we had this really touching interview with Ginger Lewis on her sexual assault, her father. And just the day before we put that interview up, her father resigned from the Bar Association, which is pretty timely there. That kind of pulled all the energy out of me at the time, but I know Darren followed up and did a really deep, moving interview with her to follow up for the paper, so we'll look forward to that. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been a good week. We got 2 health stories up, and then we've got a couple of more to publish, and then hopefully we'll be done with that subject.
Well, the health stories, the crisis in finances has been dominating our news so long. We've gotten listener and reader responses on the subject now. People appreciate getting this material out. We had former Principal Chief George Tiger give his response, and so we want to make sure we covered both sides of that issue. But I guess where are we right now? Have you been able to keep up with a fast-moving subject?
Absolutely, and there may be updates here coming down the pipeline too. I know in our coverage there will have to be another piece of legislation approved by council approving the actual contract for the $65 million loan to fix the reported health deficit. So we should be seeing that soon.
You mentioned the council, and from what I've been noticing lately, they've been a little more under the microscope as of late. We've been examining a lot of their activities and actions. We're still in a transition phase for our administration. Several nominations for the cabinet posts have gone up and been placed on, postponed rather, indefinite hold. So that kind of shows you that those folks are really taking a closer look at a lot of the things they're doing right now. We've had questions raised on the election board that came into us. Have you been able to look at that one at any length?
We haven't heard back from the election board as of late. We're still following several things with them, as well as this proposed tarot legislation. This legislation that goes before one of the committees for council on Monday would effectively repeal the tarot law and essentially the Department for the Nation. So we have a lot of questions on that legislation and some other things, and we're trying to get answers for citizens.
Now, these came from citizen comments, right?
No, well, this was actual legislation.
Oh, the election. I guess I was looking at the election board.
Yeah, and there's another piece of legislation that's going to be reviewed on Monday having to do with the election board. One of them has to do with using their symbols, logo, and phone number, and it would be listed as a misdemeanor if you used it without their permission. The other piece is having to do with the Carter Center and their review of our electoral process.
I think that's going to be a worthwhile project. I think perhaps these areas had not been examined for some time. Kind of dust them off a little bit and have our citizens take a good look at it. The recent quarterly report from the chief came out. Had some interesting thoughts there.
It's a lot of stuff, actually, and if you go to the Creek Nation website, that's mcn-nsn.gov, you'll be able to see that quarterly report. It's about 52 pages, I believe, and it's got reports from all different departments within the Creek Nation.
You want to take a look at that. I think just off the top of my head, the chief is doing a good job at keeping us posted and putting this material out that I don't think our citizens have been seeing before. So I feel good in that he's putting it out, good, bad, the ugly. It's all out there. We have a few announcements we want to share. First of all, it's a very important announcement for
our graduate edition.
Ta-da.
And this is due next Friday, and there's no exceptions. Friday, 5 p.m. There's a form that you fill out if you're a graduate here in 2016. We only do this once a year for the paper. So if you will email scosper@muskogeemedia.com, if you forget that email address, just go to our website, muskogeemedia.com, and you'll be able to find his email to get the form to fill out. And you'll need to fill that out. It's a 150-word total limit, just with names and things that you would like to say about yourself, awards, accomplishments, clan, tribal town, church, things like that. Again, the deadline is next Friday, May 13th at 5 p.m.
Now, that is an important announcement. We've got students who've been through the educational process, suffered, if you will, for 15, 16 years and gone through it. Now they're stepping out, and they have this opportunity to show themselves off a little bit and make our citizens aware of their achievement. And we can't emphasize that deadline enough.
Yeah, we only do this once a year, and this is for high school graduates, college graduates, as well as military graduates, like boot camp graduates. And so if you're graduating in 2016, now is the time to submit that to us.
Yeah, just to give you a little more insight, it takes time to put the pages together with all of these photos with the text and to make them fit, and that's a lengthy process. And once it's put down, it's like you built a brick wall. You can't go in and change the bricks very easily. So keep that in mind, and make sure if you are a graduate, if you know of someone who is becoming a graduate and would like to have their material published, get a hold of them and say, hey, you better get this material in. Coming up on the 11th, it's the Ready to Quit Smoking question coming up, and being put out there by the nation's tobacco prevention program, tips and tools to help you be tobacco free. That's on the 11th from 12 till 1 in the Housing Authority's first floor conference room. And you need to RSVP as soon as possible. Contact Arlene Davis, program specialist, at 918-756-9343. And they'll even give you lunch.
The Creek Nation Scholarship Foundation program is doing a 5K run and a fun run. This is on Saturday, May 14th. The entry fee is $20 for the fun run and $25 for the 5K. Now, those prices go up if you register on the day of the race. Registration is at 7 a.m. on May 14th.
The Muskogee Creek Nation's school clothing program has begun. Applications were being accepted on May 2nd, so that's already in motion, and they will be accepted through December 31st, the end of this year. And you may apply again beginning in 2017 in January. Now, the program ends on December the 31st, and all applications must be completed and turned into the office by that date. The school clothing program provides a grant of $200 for each eligible Muskogee Creek student once a year, and these guidelines do apply. So you might want to get a hold of them first and help your students get off onto a roaring start in their academic year.
Bucko Tribal Town is having a fundraiser next Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Alabama Casardi Community Building there in Wetumpka. Lunch starts at 11 o'clock and bingo starts at 12:30.
We have a wonderful opportunity this summer. What did you say, summer in June? Okay. Native Vision's 20th Annual Sports and Life Skills Camp is coming to the Muskogee Creek Nation. That's June the 9th through the 11th, and at Okmulgee High School. The sports age groups are several. They have many sports available, including lacrosse, soccer, running, volleyball, basketball, and football. It's a free event, but transportation is not provided. So if you're interested, get your application in by June the 6th and get a hold of the folks at www.nativevision.org. Or you can email nativevisioncamp@mcn-nsn.gov for a copy of the application. And if you want to give them a call at 918-549-2434.
The festival golf tournament's coming up. It'll be held June 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's a 3-day event. You don't have to golf all 3 days, but golf one of them. It's a 4-person scramble at $50 a person or $200 per team. And the deadline to sign up is June 1st. And you have to pay with registration. The tournament's held in Shakota at our Fountainhead Creek Golf Course. For more information, let's see if I can find a number for you. 918-689-3209.
Are you a golfer?
I'm not a golfer. I've never been.
I've never golfed before either. We hope that you will take advantage of the information we've shared with you today on Indian time, and hopefully you'll have a pleasant summer and take advantage of these opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
That's it for me too.
Okay, thank you for watching, and we'll be back again next week.